Hi, I'm Clif Christopher, the founder and president of Horizon Stewardship. And if you're watching this, it's because you want to improve the stewardship in your local church. And I hope that this can help you do it. One of the things that we've got to get away from is the idea that stewardship occurs second week in October. This seems to be, as I've talked to pastors, a time when, okay, I'm going to preach that stewardship sermon. We have to talk about money. I've heard finance chairmen say, we're going to try to limit our discussion of stewardship this year to just these few weeks, etc. Those are killer statements and they're killer attitudes. You need to instill within your congregations that stewardship is life. It's every day, every Sunday. It's something that's a core value of our spiritual existence, of our walk with Christ. It's who we are as disciples. That attitude is the attitude your people need to have, and that can come about more than any other way through worship. And they're hearing and sensing what those core elements are that need to be in the faith. Stewardship doesn't need to be that which I do at this one Sunday a year or 2 or 3 weeks a year. Stewardship is something I do every day of the year. So stewardship needs to be something that's talked about frequently in worship. Not always with the sermon, but it needs to be mentioned in and with what you are doing in the collecting of the offering and in living out your lives. It needs to be shared that stewardship isn't just about money, it's about our treatment of the earth and all things that God has given to us. The word stewardship needs to be raised up with the congregation on a very frequent basis. The taking of the offering needs to quit being a timeout in your churches. Too many times that's the feeling that's given. We just had 20 minutes of worship, time out, we're going to take up the offering now. And you start to do that and the music gets dull, somebody plays this or that. I was in a church the other day and they had a baritone solo that just played. Now, I don't want to insult you people who play baritone, but a baritone solo to be uplifting in worship is kind of tough to do. It's a lot of bass notes, kind of making noise is what it was. And to me, that was a really good time in that service to check to see if I had any emails or texts that might have come in. It just totally distracted me. I knew that at some point the pastor was going to say, okay, let's start worship back up again and we'll sing this song. But it certainly was not a high moment. Stewardship needs to be that high moment where hopefully people are hearing testimonies of how lives have been changed in your church through the gifts you are asking for right then. Pastors must model stewardship in what they do. What I mean by this is they've got to share in a very understandable way exactly how they are practicing stewardship. I believe that every pastor should share every year, verbally and in writing, with the congregation what they are choosing to give and why they're choosing to do that. That's leadership. That's what they need to hear. They need to hear this is not just something the pastor talks about to get enough money to pay the bills. This is something the pastor practices as a part of his or her spiritual life. Pastors need to model. Additionally, pastors need to preach, not one Sunday a year, but probably 5 or 6 at least a year. The best time, in my opinion, for your stewardship sermon series is not in the fall, right before you hand people a card. It's the 1st of January, when they're going through those new resolutions of how they're going to live out that life in this new year, that they might choose to make stewardship practice a part of what they are going to make occur in that new year, along with, losing 20 pounds and doing some more exercise. Put stewardship as the first thing that they hear, the first of the year. And then you might work it in again in Lent, the summer, in the fall, but frequently, not just that one Sunday or 1 week. And then remember, people give when they feel alive and they feel like they're receiving something. It is very hard for any moment of offering to overcome a bad worship service. Is your service alive? Is it relevant? Is it resonating? That's when people give. Make stewardship a part of all life within your church.